Done. Are you starting up? Yeah.
Well, Friday night class at 2279 3rd Avenue, Harlem, New York. That's our location right now. This is the Israel School of Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969. And the classes that the head priest set up, Friday is Hebrew class, followed by extension of the Hebrew Saturday morning by the Sabbath service. Today is so-called Halloween. I want to get into some things about that, some keywords to know. And then I want a scripture. I'm gonna get some words from the scripture to explain, why we are against holidays like these, and according to the Bible, how it's considered a hateful thing to, be against these holidays, right? But it is by the instructions of the Most High for us to be like this, all right? Okay, just bear with me, y'all. Also, if you have any questions, man, just put them into the chat. We'll get all questions, anything that people want to translate, right? We do that every week. A phrase you want to translate, we do that. You know what I mean? I wanted to go over the colors. I wanted to run over the season. And I wanted to get into the scripture about, them. I think it said Deuteronomy chapter 12. First, we're going to start with the alphabet. For those who don't know, I am priest and officer Hazahab. Anybody new to the classes here, feel free to state yourself and where you're from, your city, your state, what we may call you. You know what I mean? And we welcome you all to the ISBK classes online. All right. We have this form here, not a form, but our alphabet sheet. Right. I know a lot of Israelite groups take this. They trim off the top where it says ISB Israel School of UPK, and then they present the rest of the sheet as if it's their own. All right, but this sheet was made by the Israel School of UPK since the 90s. The file to edit it, I don't think we even have a file to edit it. I think this sheet was made. She was made a long time ago. All right. Okay. So if I can start with the alphabet. All right, I'm gonna give you the sounds, and I'm gonna give you what each of these are perceived to be, right? The Hebrew characters. Okay. Notingly that these sounds come from the first syllable of the word they come from. So this is a picture of a cow's head, right? Cow in Hebrew is alap. The first syllable of alap is ah. Okay. This is a picture of a tent, or rather a pictograph, right? The world calls them pictographs, right? A tent in Hebrew is bayath. The first syllable of bayath is ba, right? We have the camel's hump right here. Camel in Hebrew is gamal. The first syllable of gamal is ga. Likewise, the door in Hebrew is dalath. The first syllable of dalath is da. We have a hand presenting something in the Hebrew, hana, to say present or behold or hear, right? The word is hana. The first syllable of hana is ha. We have a fish hook in the Hebrew, wow. The first syllable of wow is wa, right? The first syllable of wow is wa. We have an image of a weapon that is supposed to be from the notes that is from 1 West, right? When the school was at the location 1 West 125th Street, this was found to be a throwing weapon. Okay, and the Hebrew word for weapon is Zayan. The first syllable of Zayan is Za. A pictograph of a fence. In Hebrew, Kawama. The first syllable of Kawama is Ka. The pictograph of the forming of a bottom of a basket. In Hebrew, the word basket is Tana'a. Tana'a, the first syllable of Tana'a is Ta. We have a pictograph of a hand. In Hebrew, Yad, the first syllable of Yad is Ya. Cup, the palm of your hand. The first syllable of Kap is Ka. Lamad, to say learn. The first syllable of Lamad is La. Mayam, to say water. In Hebrew, Mayam, the first syllable of Mayam is Ma. Right? Image of a seed sprouting. In Hebrew, Nawan. Nawan, which is the name of Joshua's father, Nun in Hebrew, Nun. Right? Spelled N-U-N in the Hebrew, Na, Wa, Na. Right? To mean sprout. The first syllable of Nawan is Na. A picture of a Israelite ancient flag, the skeleton of a flag. Right? This word came up as establish, right? You put a flag where you establish your dominion over it, right? The Hebrew word for establish is samak. Samak with a K, all right? The first syllable of samak is sa. The picture of an eye in the Hebrew, ayan. The first syllable of ayan is I. Picture of a mouth, a pictograph of a mouth. The first syllable of the Hebrew word pa, P-A-H, pa. The first syllable of pa is pa. The image of an advanced or evolved image of a man on his side, right? In the Hebrew, tazad. The first syllable of tazad is tazah, right? We have kwa, right? This is an image of the sun rising up on the horizon. In the Hebrew, kwam means rise. Kwam, like when we say kwam yasharala. The first syllable of kwam is kwa. And we have the image of a head. In Hebrew, ra'ash. Ra'ash. Not ra'ash, but ra'ash. You know, we don't, for a singular word, we tend to not cut the breath. Cutting the breath is usually a sign that you're stating a preposition or possessive or separate word. So you make it flow together like we always do. We don't say, do you know what I mean? We say, you know what I mean? We throw things together. Ra'ash. Ra'ash. The first syllable of Ra'ash is Ra. Ra. Okay? We have the image of teeth. The pictograph of teeth in the Hebrew. Shun. S-H-A-N. Shun. The first syllable of shun is sha. And then the last one here, we have an image of mark, as if you mark something. X marks the spot. In the Hebrew, mark is thou. Thou. The first syllable of thou is tha. Okay, and that is the Israelites alphabet, pictographs, and definition formed by the Israelite School of UPK. Right? Okay. We want to get our colors. We did our colors last week. I know today they love the color orange. There's no orange in Hebrew. Thank the Lord. So we won't be talking about any orange today. All right, but just a recap from last week. I put all the colors on here. We can start with black. The word was formed in darkness. Right, then we got white. I believe there's only 8 colors in our culture. There's only 8 colors. We don't have orange in our culture. We don't have pink. We don't have burgundy. We don't have turquoise, teal. We don't have those colors, right? We just keep the basics. All right. The colors are available in the Bible: black, white. Then we go to the primary colors: red, blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow, and then we have green, brown, and then we have purple. For those who don't know, red, blue, and purple were considered expensive colors based on it hard to being able to get the ingredients to make blue dye. Right, I think the same goes for red to make it vibrant red. I think it might have been harder to get these colors, and then in how hard it was to get these 2 colors, you have to mix these 2 expensive colors to get this even more expensive colors. If that gives an insight to you why the rich in the scriptures, them rich people used to love to wear that purple. People who look down on the poor, the rich people, they used to love to wear that purple because it was hard to get blue dye and it was hard to get red dye. Of course, research was done by a brother in the New York school called Yawa Allah, very intelligent brother. Right, he put me onto it some time ago. Right, and I looked it up, and it's true. Okay, so how much colors we got so far? We got what? 8 colors, right? Good. Black is Shaka War. Shaka War. White is Laban. Right, and the Shaka War, by the way, is not the name of Captain Shaka War. Right, Captain Shaka War's name has a K in there. This is not the same one to mean black. All right, Laban is white. All right, Laban is white. That's the name of Jacob's uncle. Right, red is Adawam. Wam, right, which is the name that was given to Esau, right, when he got his Hebrew name, right? This is the same word to say Edom, right? Adawam. We got blue. Blue is Kalath. Yellow was what again? Yellow was Tazahab. Right, Tazahab. Green was Ryanan. Green. Brown is from the color of heat, right? Wam. Right? So even when we said on the Hebrew alphabet that the fence is called Hawamah, right? That fences were brown, right? That's what I know, right? The fences were brown. And brown is Hawam. Brown is Hawam, fence, Hawamah. Purple is Gaman. Okay. Most words, just for Hebrew knowledge sake, words that end with an N on top of being built on Hebrew words that have two or more than 2 or 3 characters, right? Meaning they're built off of root words and they have an extra not at the end, right? That means it was built from a word before it, okay? And then the noun was added to make it a noun. So so it's probably ragam was probably some other word. I haven't done my research on it, but we're gonna look into it. This one, and where's the green? The green is like that too, right? Ra, I, and then the na there. They got an extra na there. The additional na is to say noun. It comes from the culture of the one, right? Let me not write on the board to confuse nobody, right? But like, you got names like Zabalawan, right? Zabal means to dwell, and then Zabalawan does not mean dwell. It now means his name, right? And then you got names like Shemaiwan. Shemai means to hear, right here. Shemai means here, but you say Shemaiwan because you're not talking about listening anymore. You're talking about somebody's name, right? So, and then you have like words like Yaradan, right? The Jordan, right? Yarad means to descend, to go down, to descend. Yarad, right? But Yaradan with the noun on the end. Now we're not talking about descending or going down anywhere. We're talking about this place that was named after going down. All right. So that's the culture of adding the na at the end of these words that have and not added onto a word that has 2 or 3 characters. If I'm gonna write these in there in the Isupk Lashawan, right? The the ancient, just so everybody can have it. We have Shah. Remember, now in Hebrew, we write from right to left. In English letters, we're writing from left to right. Left to right. Oh, by the way, the word column. The word column. In America, we don't put the U in the word color. In the Bible, you want to find color, you got to put the U in there. All right. So outside of the United States, any English country, they'll put the U in there just for color. If you're looking in the King James Version, if you're looking for the word color, you got to make sure you put the U in there, right? Color is ayan. Right? Ayan. It is the same word for I. All right. So when we're going on the Hebrew alphabet sheet, right? We see I, like an I, then that word became the word for color because your eyes see color. Without your eyes, I've never asked a blind man what did he see, but there were blind men in the Bible that Christ had to heal, and I guess they see nothing. I guess they see darkness. I guess it's black all the days of their life. You know what I mean? So when you have eyes, you can see color. Without eyes, I guess you don't see color. All right. So writing from right to left. Sha, ka, war. Right. Sha, ka, war. Laban, la, ba, na, laban. Adawam, Edom, right? Adawam, red. A, da, wa, ma. Adawam. Blue, we got Sakalaf, Sa, Ka, La, and Sa. Sa, Ka, La. For yellow Tazahab. We have the Tazah. We got the Ha. And then we got the Ba. Tazahab. And by the way, I'm putting these connectors on them because these connectors determine whether you dropped what today we call the vowel sound, because this Hebrew doesn't have vowels, so it has connectors. If Hebrew had vowels, we would not need connectors. All right. So when we say ha and we say ba, when I connect them, you drop the ah sound off of the second Hebrew letter is connected to. So instead of taza ha ba is taza hab. Not ha ba but hab. Not la tha but lath. Not wa ma but wam. All right? Good. Rainan, ra, I. Get some more space on it. Okay. Ra, I, na. Right? Rai, ra, I, na. Right? Ra, I, ra, I, na. Right? Good. Brown, kawam. 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 Purple, aragaman. A, ra, ga, man. Aragaman. Aragaman. All right. And then we have the word for color. From what I was looking up, the word for colors, and I did not see any pluralization when they want to say colors. They had garments in diverse colors and all kind of stuff like that. But you know, they didn't have the word colors plural, like to say ayan yum. I didn't see that, so I can't teach that yet. I can't teach anything that I can't see in the Bible. Anything I don't see in the Bible, I'm not teaching straight up. Right? Per command Johanna, right? I was not to create anything new, and I won't create anything new. Anything I teach you, or anything that we taught here on this Friday night in this New York school, is going to be things that are evident in the Bible. Okay? Okay? Ayan. I. Yan. I. Yan. Right? That's the word for color. In looking at things like this, you come across words like dye, like when you dye clothes. So I was talking about the dye of the red and the blue equal to purple, dye, right? The word dye, like when you dye clothes, right? Dye like D-Y-E, right? You dye clothes to a color. The word is tazabai. 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 Okay? Tazabai. Tazabai. Okay, I'm good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of this. Okay. Let me go out a little bit so you can get the bottom, the ones at the bottom. Oh, there we go. Okay. Ashley Crosby. Hey, shalom, sis. Shalom, sis. All right. Big up Dizaron. Dizaron. Okay. Checking in from Kenya. Or from Kenya. Big up to Princess Nazamina. Right. The jewel from Louisiana. Right. Well, wife of strong brother right there. Mother bar. I love that brother right there. Okay. I was in the Hebrew classes with that brother a long time ago. When I was a trooper. You know, we was in the Hebrew classes together, right? Okay. I'm just gonna take a picture of this this joint here. Okay. And please feel free to ask any question, Hebrew, that you like. You know what I mean? It's over here. Aisha Bana from Detroit. Shalom, sis. Okay. Good. And then we're gonna get into I know we did the seasons, right? So we're going into the winter season. The word winter should be hara. Didn't want to erase this so quickly. All right, we're gonna give everybody a chance to at least If you're writing it down, we take a screenshot. Right, but I am gonna keep pushing. We're doing fairly good on the timing here in school here. Okay. Winter is corrupt. And summer is supposed to be, let me check and make sure, because I don't got it on me right now. Summer's gone, so I kind of forgot what it was, right? I think it's quarters or something, quarters a year or something like that. So like it, Kwayataza is summer. I'm writing it down on the board so we don't forget. Right in this corner right here, summer. Summer. Kwa ya taza. Kwayataza. Kwayataza. And then winter. Winter is ha ra. Okay, for rock. Okay. Okay, we'll give you a chance to write this down right quick. Please load the questions up. Your questions are what's going on. I got me a cup of Mayan. Right, so cup. A good question. So we went over this a while ago. I don't have it on right now. Let me look in the Bible. And that's a good word to know how to say cup. We get cups all the time. Cups and plates. That might be a thing to definitely. We got Pharaoh's cup right here, Genesis 40 and 11. It says, Kawas.
Kawas.
Kawas. Kawas. K-A-W-S. K-A-W-S.
The Kawas.
Kawas. Kawas. All right, and it's right. It's used as a cup 31 times in the Bible. Also, it's a name for an owl. Owl, right? The bird that's in the night. Owl has been named after the word cup. Okay. What I want to do is I want to look in this. Let me show you guys. I'm looking at my phone here, right? Okay. So I'll put the search in my phone. Right. Give me Genesis 40 and 11. All right. The word cup came up here. I'll just look it up. Get the concordance code. Kawas. All right, 3563. Well, don't ever worry about the concordance code, all right? It's just a navigation thing. Some cats use that. I've seen some cats that we're going to a lecture, Keta Desariac, and they want to spit all the concordance codes because they just looked at it 5 minutes ago, and they sound extra smart to the average person. Don't care about the concordance codes. I don't care about no concordance codes. I only use it for people who want to navigate to it. You want to get somewhere quick. You put the code in, it brings you there. Right? But what you want to get is the Hebrew word. Right? So when you're writing notes, write the Hebrew word, try to form it in the Lashawan Qadash. All right? Any form that will make you remember it better, you do that. Right? Forget the concordance code up there, right? Good. Now, it's written here in Genesis 40 and 11. I just want to go to the Tanakh, and I want to make sure that it's written the same way, right? Because the concordance sometimes never get the tenses right. They change the tenses. Okay, so we got the word cup right here, right? It's written the same way. We got to just check. I didn't want to go to the words in the scriptures, and then the word is without the wa. But the wa, you're really worried about the wa. Or we're going from the Torah, the Tanakh, right, to the concordance. Because sometimes the concordance, the oppressor doesn't get the middle tense right all the time. It's like he doesn't understand the middle tense. You see what I'm saying? He doesn't really get the middle tense. He doesn't understand. You might not know what it is. I don't know. But I know there's some words out there, like even for the same shalom. When you see fake Israelites get mixed up between shalom and shalawam, that is based on them following the concordance more than the Bible. Right? Fake Israelites love books more than the Bible. So they'll find ways. People who failed students of the ISBK in the early 90s, they love these books, and they determined their doctrine or their belief system based on outside books than the Bible. Right? They try to mate other books with the Bible, but then Isaiah said, "None shall want her mate." Right? Hey, shalom, sister Ashley, God see you. Good to see you, sis. Okay. Okay. So we always go to the Bible. Command Johanna versus Bible. Right? Command Johanna will tell us books are tools. But at the end of the day, he don't give a damn about no book whatsoever. You know, read you know, the scripture he gives you is that, you know, if you read, you can read books forever. The precept says it'll be the word that's of the flesh. You know what I mean? All you need is the Bible. And then you want things that support the Bible, not replace the Bible. All right? Okay, good. And then, of course, certain individuals that left the school a long time ago, you know, who would be like our fathers in, you know, the truth. We don't really want to, you know, uncover their nakedness per se. You know what I mean? So, and we thank them for their service. Absolutely, sir.
Put down their sword, but
concept
what they did.
Yes.
Now they got the research they did.
Yeah.
And all that. You know what I mean?
Khan. You know what I mean? And they held up the war till, you know, the Lord chose other men to take up that war. And it's a war. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. So I'm gonna erase these colors right here. Okay. I threw water for that too, sir. Khan. Okay. Okay, please don't feel shy to ask any questions. Michelle Taylor from Omaha, Nebraska. Big on Omaha, Nebraska, man. The Lord waking up Nebraska, man. I mean, you got brothers coming from all kind of places. You know what I mean? Sisters come from all kind of places. I think we got a whole school. We got a whole ISBK in Iowa. I've never met anybody that went to Iowa. Never. Far away place. Big up to all places where the Lord is waking up. Big up to Iowa. Big up to Nebraska. Big up to brothers who may have left the United States and toured somewhere and they're checking in from some outside country. Big up to all of you, all right? I'm gonna leave summer and winter there. Let me write cup on the board, right? Just so you remember, right? Repetition is how, you know, the memory is perfected, right? Kawas, right? You know what I mean? We have feast days in here. We have plenty feast days in here. Just to get all of the words. I want plate. I want plate. I want plate, cup. I want knife and fork. Knife. Well, we looked at knife before. Knife is the same word as sword. Right? Knife is karab. Right? Karab. Right? Knife, fork. I want spoon. Okay. And then I want I don't know if we had napkins as well. Probably not. There's probably a piece of cloth, right? Let's go get cloth for a napkin. Because napkins used to be cloth, right? Right? Cloth. for a napkin. Right, so we're gonna get these dinner words, right? Dinnerware words, right? Okay, so I'm gonna show you, right, what I'm gonna be looking for. I'm gonna first look for plate. It's not gonna give me the plate that I want, right? Plate, right? I'm gonna search for plate. I'm gonna show you what I'm searching for, so you can have an idea of what I'm looking for. All right. See, if I put plate in there and I don't get the plate that I want. I'm getting breastplate and all kind of things. All right. Talking about when they're making the garments of war. The breastplate is like a big iron piece that go over your chest. So you go to war, you have some defense against other people's sword. All right. Okay. So that's not coming up. I'm gonna put in this thing up here that is partial, so we can get plate by itself. Right? You put the mitri on his head, and also put the mitri. Mitri is matazanapath. Matazanapath. One word. Matazanapath. Even upon the forefront, did he put the golden plate? Right? The holy crown, as the Lord commanded Moses. Right? So we wore crowns. A crown is like a metallic headpiece. And for these brothers' headpieces, they put a golden plate. All right, they put a golden plate is like a rectangle, like a plaque. All right, a golden plate. Right, I mean, upon his head, the forefront, he did put the golden plate, the holy crown. Right, good. And I think this is all talking about the mitri. The crown is the mitri in this scenario here, I believe. Right. Also upon the mitri, even upon his forefront, did he put the golden plate, the holy crown? Yeah. So this crown right here in Leviticus seems to be like a mitri that they put a golden plate on, right? And yet that is not the plate that I'm looking for, right? So I want to see if I can probably put the word charger. I know the old school way to say certain plates was to say charger. Okay. Okay. And then we got and his offering was 1 silver charger weight thereof. Others look to see what the charger is. All right. And it says here, Quira. And it describes it as a how would you say this? I say a bowl. I think some people say bowl. Oh, how do you say a dish? A bowl or bowl?
Bowl.
Bowl.
English, you mean English? Yeah.
Bowl. Yeah, bowl. All right, so it's described as a bowl as cut out hollow. All right. I know the old King James version, they might say charger. Even the charger today, the plate on a, what do you call those things again? You know, you get a plate and you put it in like this bigger plate and you hand it to somebody, so you get up on the table. You don't eat from it, but you put the plate on it.
Yeah, it's me so and stuff for like I can't yeah.
Cause I don't know what they call them. If anybody knows what they call, put it in the chat. Yeah, but in the scriptures, things was handed to people on what the old records would say a charger, right? And it was basically a giant plate. So here it's described as a bowl or a dish. You know what I mean? But it came up in the English as a charger, right? And his offering was 1 silver charger. The weight thereof was 130 shekels. 1 silver bowl of 70. Oh, 1 silver bowl. Let me look at the word for bowl here. All right. A bowl. As if for sprinkling, a basin. A bowl or and it comes up in the King James version as a basin. So I want to look that up right quick. Okay, and then we find more things. He made all the vessels of the altar, the pots and the shovels and the basins and the fleshhooks and the fire pan. Okay, there we go. Right, so we're getting somewhere in there now. So remember, now in Hebrew, one thing Means a platter. There we go, Sister Ashley. Thank you, sis. That's what they call them in restaurants. A platter. Kawakan. You know what I mean? Big up George Sanders from New Jersey, Jersey City. Shalom, shalom. Welcome to the class. You know what I'm saying? Olivia Arnold. Anyway, please don't feel shy to ask any questions neither, right? Or any phrase you want. All right. Captain Shamal asked about a cup. And next thing you know, we're getting all the dinnerware. All right. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write this word right for a. This is really the dish. It's a bowl, right? So it's like a bowl. They also named it as a basin. All right. Let me just get some more examples just to make sure. Okay. But we need words. We need the old words, right? Okay. Just to make sure. Okay. So we got. Oh snap. So let me put dish here. Right. Dish. It was likened to a basin, and it was. Hold on. Ma za Mazarak. Okay, Mazarak. Let me go back to the old word for a truck, for a plate. The plate, the charger, the platter, right? Quira. Where's plate? I ra. Okay, oosh, it's rough. You know what I mean? These are all new words. These are words I'm not familiar with. I'm not familiar with none of these words. You know what I mean? I've seen Kawas before, I've seen Karab before. I don't know these words right here. So this right here is building on my vocabulary as I'm teaching you. So, you know what I mean? You're new to Hebrew, you're learning some Hebrew, you're not alone. I'm with you. You know what I mean? And what I want to do is I want to find a way to even put these. I'm gonna post it on Facebook later, right? And wherever you at, you know what I mean? Encourage someone to get these words and put these words in some paper somewhere and stick it on a wall or something. You know what I mean? Stick it on the wall or something. So, feast day comes, you can use these words. Damn, how you know Hebrew like that? You know what I mean? You encourage someone else to, what I mean? Remember, we learned one person from Philly says John, and New York calls every girl a John now. You know what I mean? So our culture is influential, right? So you gotta push on the influence. All right. Okay. So we got knife, we got plate. Knife is karab, plate is quira, cup is kawas, dish is mazarak. If you see a ma at the beginning of any word, that ma is of or from, meaning this word is compounded from something else. I want to find out what zarak is. Right? Find out these words first, and then I'm gonna go to investigating what the zarak is, the root word of mazarak. Okay. I don't know how to find a fork. Hopefully, I'm gonna see the fork is in here. Okay, we got one word for fork here. It might not be the fork we're looking for, but we're gonna see. Okay. Okay. We got a prong, right? And from an unused root meaning to prick. A prong that is a fork, a hay fork. Right? I'm not exactly convinced that this is the word for fork, right? For as a utensil, but I am gonna note it. Right? I'm gonna put a question mark beside it, right? So I'm gonna put fork up here. I'll put a question mark beside it because it's still under investigation. Notice it only comes up once as a fork, meaning if I find the old English usage for some other word, which means the utensil fork, I'll come across that word 100 times, but I'm looking for this word, and then I won't recognize what I'm reading, right? The whole idea of communication is to understand what is being told to you, all right? So I want the word that is, when I see a fork being mentioned a 1,000 times as an other word, as a prong or something, I gotta look up prong, right? I want to know that this is the word that I can use and everybody recognizes it, right? Okay. So put fork as Lashawan Lashawan. And as we said earlier, put that question mark right there. And even earlier than that, we talked about the one, right? The one is to say that we've turned some verb into a noun. Okay. Okay. Let me see if I can find a spoon. Okay. Okay, so I put the word spoon in my search bar right there. Right, I'm gonna press search and see what comes up. And yes, we do get spoons. We got spoons. I should make the dish. We got the word for dishes. Let me see if it's the same word for dishes. Maybe I'm wrong on the word dish. Let's see what comes up there. Oh, dish comes out as a charger again. Okay, a bowl that's cut out hollow. A charger or dish. Rough one. Okay. We got the covers. We got covers. It's described as to be around a jug or a shape or a jug, a cup. Okay. Now this one comes up as a cup one time. Kawas comes up as a cup 31 times. So we're gonna stick with kawas for cup. So this could be a giant cup to say a jug. They got this in the italic, the slanted kind of italic font here to say, you know, the Strong is saying that it's this, a jug. So we got a jug here. Kosha, we're gonna put that on there, right? We're gonna put jug. Right, a jug. Right, and that is Kwasha. I believe the Kwasha is the same word for the thing you put the arrows in. You know, you got I don't know what they call that thing again, right? But you got like a long sleeve that you carry in your back. You put the arrows in there.
Quiver.
A quiver. Sir. They put the arrows in the quiver. I believe. Let me see if I can find it right quick, and just to make sure, because
quiver in the apocrypha.
It's in the apocrypha, sir, right?
Yeah, bro, quiver.
Concept. I know the apocrypha. They don't give us the Hebrew for because of the they don't have the Tanakh.
Oh,
to give the interlinear like that. So I do see one here in the there's a couple here in the Old Testament, Isaiah and Genesis. Let me see. No, it's a different concordance code. I don't want to confuse nobody. Okay, yeah, it's a different concordance code here. So the arrow quiver is not Kosher, no problem. Okay. Hold on here, hold on. We got different words for quiver here. Hold on. Okay. Okay. So we got jug as Kosher, right? Good. I was looking for a spoon a while ago. Let me go back to the spoon. Okay. Okay, so spoon. We got an into spoon. Spoons thereof. Oh, spoon, cup. There we go. Yeah, how'd I forget that? We've been teaching it for a long time. This is your spoon. You go to a river. You get the water. You spoon it into your hand. Remember now. We got the figure for spoon. Not the spoon. The figure for the palm of your hand. I wanted to make sure that this is nice and clear. The figure for the palm of your hand, cup. And those lines in that semicircle here in ka, right? Cup is to say the lines in the palm of your hand. All right, your palm of your hand, you can scoop things up. We named the utensil spoon after scooping things with the palm of your hand, right? Right. So the cup is spoon, cup. All right. Can I get a cloth and a napkin? It might not be the best time for that right now. Let me see if I find anything. Let me ask Google. Napkins, KJV. Okay, so we gave us John 20:7. So I put napkins, KJV. John 20:7. Okay. Just John 20:7. So New Testament, we're gonna be looking at the Greek. Let me see what comes up there. I think you put the word in there, right? Napkin. Let's put in a napkin. So we got a Greek word. Let's see if it gives us any clues in the Greek description. Okay. So we got this of a Latin origin. This word here, this Greek word, sudarion. Sudarion. All right, sudarium. A sweat cloth. That is a towel for wiping the perspiration of the face, binding the face of a corpse, a handkerchief, napkin. All right. Okay, so here's a clue. We got handkerchief. Handkerchief. What I want to do is I want to put handkerchief in the search. By the because I'm showing you what I'm doing, so you could do it in your own time too. Right? Hey, Anthony, 2019. Shalom, Mark. Welcome to the class, Anthony. Shalom, shalom. Oh, handkerchief. Handkerchief. And see what comes up. Oh man. Acts, the book of Acts, not helping. Right? So that from his body were brought onto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, talking about the brothers, what the brothers were wearing. The apron is the Israelite garment, right? That's how the New Testament is calling it. And the handkerchief will be your war scarf. It's like a giant rectangle cloth, or a giant squarish kind of cloth, right? You put it on your head. That's how we got the shape of the war scarf today, right? From descriptions of things like these, right? Okay. What if I look for how would I find a war scarf in the Old Testament? I'm not sure. Let me see if I got something in my notes. Because that might be the clue to getting a cloth thing, all right? Okay. Let me put war scarf in there. Scarf. Okay. War scarf. I did not write it down in Hebrew. Maybe I did somewhere else. Nope. I'm not gonna find it. Not hold on, let me see. Hold on. Oh, no. By the way, right? Here's some words for your pause, right? Belt. So like, belt is kashab. All right. I'm not gonna write this on the board right now, right? But belt is kashab. So I got me one of them old Israelite belts on me. The one made out of cloth, right? Okay, you got it. You wrap it around your waist, right? Kashab. All right, kashab. Your garment is bagadium, right? A bagad, right? Your regular headpiece. The regular headpiece that you wear on your head, that you tie around your head, right? The diadem. Let it focus up. Tazanap. All right, Tazanap. And then we got the where's the Mitri? The Mitri is based on Tazanap. It's Matazanapath. I don't got it here, no problem, right? Right, but your Mitri is cover consonant. Your headpiece is Tazanap. The tam, the tam that everybody now wears in the world like it's Caucasian culture, right? That was made by the sons of Aaron, right? And the Hebrew word for tam is Magabiah. Magabiah. Magabai. Magabiah. Okay, Magabiah, right? That's the Israelite tam, right? The brothers will wear. People call it a beret, right? Magabiah, right? And the Gabai is a hill, right? Gabai, Gabai. Hold on, I gotta check on that word, but that's a good thing to know too. Let me just check and make sure. You know, I wrote these notes are probably from like 2021 or something like that, right? Let me just go into it. Let me get the book. Right. Okay, bear me on. Hold on the pocket. I lose my phone like I lose my remote. Okay. Strong's Concordance, right? Okay. We got these little lines right here. This is to say English, right? And then over here we have some dictionary words, and we got Hebrew, we got Greek, and then we got the index in the back, right? So I want to just get the Hebrew words right here. All right. Oh, Slaki, that's the appendix. Maybe the Hebrew is the next one. Hebrew, then Greek, and then appendix, right? So let's go over here. All right, there we go. And we got the Hebrew section right here. Right. This is right here. Hebrew. Okay. And then I want to go by. You can go around, so that's all right. Oh, okay, okay. We're gonna go to goodbye. Bad means part. Bad. Labadka means to part you or to separate you, to divide you. Look for goodbye. Ba ga. Here we go. Ga. Gar is a stranger within your nation. Goya is a stranger outside of your race. Nation in the Bible means race. Looking for Gabai. Gar is a stranger within your race. Goya is a stranger outside of your race. Okay, here we go. All right. Just to make sure that the word looking for the tam is correct, right? So we got a goodbye with the ha on the end, right? To say that's the ga right here, right? The ga, the ba, and the I, right, and the ha, right? The ga, the ba, and the I, and the ha to say hill or a little hill. But of course, we have the original word for hill ha, which means the government, right? This is a little hill. Goodbye, right? So goodbye, which is a little hill, and then we have the ma goodbye, right? Ma goodbye, which is your beret. You know what I'm talking about when I say beret. Your beret or a tam. Why? Because when you wear one of these tams, it looks like a little. Let me see if I can put a thing on the Google. You can understand what I'm talking about, right? Let me put in a beret, right? Okay. Right. So I'm gonna add this thing to the presentation here. Okay. Share screen. Okay. So we what we have here is these little tabs, right? And when the man puts it on his head, it looks like there's a hill on his head, right? Look at a person in our culture doesn't even know it. Nobody knew that this was Israelite culture. This is the thing that Aaron wore on his head. And the man was a priest. Right? A Magabai. This is a Magabai. Okay? And it says here it's a little hill. You can see the mouse here. Right? So it's shaped like a little hill. So we go up the hill, down the hill. Right? Gabai means a little hill. Gabai. And then the Magabai is to say from little hill. Right? To say from the shape of a little hill. That's how we got the name of the town or the beret. You know, it's very one west to wear one of these, one west culture. Okay? Good. Okay? Okay. Olivia Arnold said headpiece. Headpiece was the headpiece was Tazanah. Okay. Tazanah. The headpiece. The headpiece. Headpiece. Tazanah. Okay. Oh, we gotta find out. I want to look up what is the origin of Mazarak. So the same way how we looked at the beret, you got Ma Gabai. I take the Ma off, and it becomes just Gabai, which means little hill. Right? That's what I'm doing over there, right? I'm taking the Ma, if I take the Ma off, right, I get the root, Gabai, which is this, which is a little hill. Okay? Same thing goes for a headpiece. Right? We got Tazanah here for headpiece. But then you have the word Mitri. Right? The Mitri, which is the thing I got on my head right now. Right? Is called a Ma. Oh, I wrote the wrong letter. Let me keep going and fix it later. Ma. Ta-za. I'm tripping myself up too much. Where's the arm? Okay. Ma. Ta-za. Na. Ta-za. Na. Pa. I don't got no space. So it's like, don't want to forget that. I want to check that out. Ma. Ta-za. Na. Pa. Okay. Tazanah, right? So that Tazanah right here is the same Tazanah right here. All right, you can see, right? So the Ma added on to the Tazanah, you know, means it's describing something else now. You've made a compound word out of this. Remember, a headpiece, a Tazanah is one strand around your head that you tie in the back. But the Mitri is like probably like 20 of those headpieces in length, and you wrap it and wrap it and wrap it around your head. You know what I mean? Okay, so Tazanah, your headpiece. Ma Tazanah Pa, your Mitri. Okay. Good. Okay. Cloth, napkin. No, don't want to find it. We'll have to move this for now. I'm not sure where to get that right now. I'm gonna do some more research into a napkin. Right, but these words are good. Okay. These words are good. I wonder if there's anything else I'm missing here. Okay. Anybody got an idea for anything else? Just let me know. All right. Okay. And then let's see what else we got in our notes. By the way, with summer and winter, right? With summer and winter, right? These are the only two seasons in Israelite culture. We're not really big on saying spring and fall in our culture. It's just summer or winter. It's either hot outside or it's cold outside. If it's okay outside, it's warm outside. There ain't no snow on the ground. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's determined by, do I go outside? Do I wear linen? In the summer, we wear linen. All right, we wear linen in the summer. And in the winter, we wear wool. In the winter, we wear wool. Right? Hence, you got the law about not wearing garments of diverse fabrics, such as it will say in the scriptures, such as linen with wool. Because linen is to keep you cool, wool is to keep you warm when it's cold out there. Right? You have so this right here is linen. If I wear this outside, I'm going to die when it's snowing outside. Okay? In the school is warm. I put this on. I feel like I'm not wearing any extra piece of clothing. I feel like I'm wearing nothing. All right? That's the thing with linen. Wool now, you put that on, you're gonna burn up. It insulates like crazy. All right? I know linen is shash. It's the same Hebrew as the number 6, shash. Right? Linen is shash. That's right. That is linen. Okay. Let me fix up the writing for linen so you can not be confused, right? Linen. Okay, linen. Let me find out the word for wool. I don't think I've ever looked up the word for wool before. I know it comes from sheep. Sheep is kabash. Linen is from the flax seed. You might have heard of the flax seed in the Bible. A virgin woman, she worketh in flax, right? She's only working in flax because she's making linen. Linen is one of the most expensive fabrics back then, not today. Nowadays, the most expensive fabrics, I make garments out of them, right? It's not linen. Wool. Wool. Okay, here we go. Okay. So we got Leviticus, right? We got a law about the plague here. It talks about the garment, also that the plague of leprosy is in. Meaning a person is wearing this garment, he got leprosy. Whether it be woolen, it's made out of wool, a woolen garment, or a linen garment. Remember, that's how we look at things. Is it wool? Is it linen? Is it hot? Or is it cold? Is it summer? Is it winter? Halloween, by the way, Halloween was built by worshiping the winter. All right. If I can look up Samhain before I get to wool, right? Samhain.
October 31st, 2025, and will end on Saturday evening, November 1st, 2025.
Okay, here we go. Samhain or Samhain, right? This is where Halloween comes from. It's a Gaelic festival on the 1st of November, right? Remember, the day starts on the evening before an old culture, right? So Halloween will start on, or Hallows Eve, they call it, right? It will start on the sundown before November 1st in today's sense, right? So they do it on October 31st. And they party all night into November the 1st, right? Marking the end of the harvest season, right? Because the harvest season is all summer. It ends now, right? And beginning of winter, right? So of course, like always, the heathen is always worshiping the creature and not the creator, because the Lord created winter. The Lord created summer. He created the thing that you can't even see. You just feel it outside in the air. It's cold outside. The heathen go to worship that. That is how they work. You know what I mean? Against the Lord, worshiping winter. So Halloween and Samhain is worshiping the end of the harvest season and worshiping the beginning of winter. It didn't say the end of fall. It didn't say the end of fall. You see what I'm saying? That's not what it says. It didn't say marking the end of fall and the beginning of winter. Right? It says it's marking the end of the harvest season, which is the summer. All right? Hold on. Okay. Marking the end, right, end of harvest season and beginning of winter. So now in today, right, we follow on up into Greek and Roman society, right? So now we're technically in the fall season, right? To society, the winter starts in December, they say, right? But in the old world, in the old societies, this time that we're in right now marks the beginning of winter. So winter wasn't 3 months in old time; it was more than 3 months. Okay, no problem, right? Okay, good. Or the darker half of the year. There you go. So you got the brighter half of the year, and then you got the darker half of the year. The brighter half of the year, where daytime can go up to set 9 p.m. Right, summer. Right, winter season, nighttime might come at 5 o'clock. All right, good. What else am I missing? I'm missing something. Okay, so look at the word for wool. Okay, look at the word for wool. I've seen this word before. Tazamar. Right, an unused root probably means to be shaggy, because the sheep, the kabash is shaggy. You got shaggy fur in it, right? Wool. Good. Right, so Tazamar is wool. I'm gonna write that on the board right here. Let me fix it up proper for everybody. Wool. All right. Tazamar. And by the way, we are approaching the end of class. So if you have any questions about the Hebrew, I know the end is where everybody gets the questions for Hebrew, right? If you have any questions about the Hebrew, you want to mark it in now, because I will be ending the class very, very soon, all right? Okay. Tazamar. And then we're going to go to I'll look up Zarak. I'll look up more words for fork. I want to see if the fork, KJV.
In the King James Version, fork can mean an agricultural tool for separating grain, or even a metaphorical fork in a road. Notably, it's used in Matthew and Luke to describe the Messiah with a winnowing fork, used to separate wheat from chaff.
Okay. We get a clue here. So ask Google AI fork KJV, right? Wait for the screen to concentrate. But mind you, it's focusing on the reflection on the phone screen. Let me just lock that reflection up right quick. All right. Okay. So we got a flesh hook, a 3-pronged fork used to take pieces of meat from a boiling pot. So we got Samuel's 2:14. All right, there we go. Oh, we got the word pan and kettle and pot here. I might want to get that. All right, there we go. Right, 1 Samuel 2 and 14. So it's probably going to change this. I'm going to go to 1 Samuel 2 and 14. I'm going to go straight to the Tanakh, being that I got it there, right? 1 Samuel 2 and 14. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can find the word for fork here. I don't see it like it was. Oh, hold on. He struck it into the pan, or that the flesh hook brought up the priest took withal. So we're looking for the word that says flesh hook. Okay. And the word says mazalag. Mazalag. Translated as the forks, and for the fork, and its fork, and with a flesh hook, the flesh hook. All right. Flesh hook just means they put meat on your fork. All right. And that's it's crazy. I never thought about it like that. Right? That's the whole reason it's there for, to really pick up flesh off your plate. Your rice, you use a spoon as a spoon to the rice. You know what I mean? But so I still want to see what Qadash is. Right? What Qadash is the question of it. I want to know what Qadash means because it came up. Qadash 1, right? So I want to know what Qadash means. Let's see if I can just put it in Hebrew for a second. Qadash. It's much quicker to write Hebrew than English. And then I want Zarak. Zarak, right? Good. All right, so we got Mazalag. Right? Mazalag for fork. Mazalag. Mazalag. There we go. Now we got a ma at the beginning, meaning we gotta look up what? I gotta look up what zalag means. Za, la, and ga. I gotta find out what those mean. Right? Okay. Let me move these up. Dish, ma, zarak. I want to create some space down here, and we got jug. I used to pour your juice out the jug, which is a kwasha. Okay. I'm gonna erase this right here, create some space. The thing that we cannot afford in New York, space. Rent so high, it's very rare that space. Who knew that space would be so valuable on the board and in our homes out here in hell, New York. Sheesh. You know what I mean? Tell you about it. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I was gonna go to the book, look at the words in the book, but flipping the pages, you know what I mean? Flipping the pages and all that. We're just gonna go to I have to get the book. This phone is giving me the concord, all the books in dark. Let's see if we can change the settings on this right quick. How to change the setting of your Kindle to a bright screen instead of a dark screen. That's some help from Google AI right quick.
To brighten your Kindle screen, swipe down from the top to access the Quick Actions menu, then adjust the brightness slider. Alternatively, when reading, tap the screen's top to access the menu, or go to the settings under Display and Brightness.
Okay, let's see if we can do that. So let's go to the book, Strong's Concordance, and see if there's some menu here. Don't see nothing over there. Let's see right here. No. Google AI, I can't believe you lied to me. Change your Kindle to a brighter screen. Swipe down from the top to open the quick action menu. So you can swipe down from the top like it says. Swipe down from the top. That's not it. That's not it. Oh, it's probably giving me my own. Come on, man. Why would they be like, why would they do that to me, man? All right, let's see if we can. Hopefully this is bright enough, right? We've got a black screen, white writing on here. Okay. Now I want to find Zarak. Oh, look at that. We got the for helmet. A quaba. Quaba. Interesting. Okay. Ma Zarak. Let's look for Zarak. Abaga daha wa zakata yaka. Right. There's the za right here. Zarak. Lama na sa. There's the ra right here. Zarak. Zara. And then we got Zarad. Hold on. Zaram. Looking for Zarak. Lamana sa ipataza qua. Here we go. Zarak. Oh, what did I do? Zarak. We got two Zaraks here. One Zarak says to sprinkle. Okay. Zarak says to. Oh, Zarar. Hey, we got to do it for sneeze. Ain't that the season we in sneeze season right now, right? The sneeze? Cat, you sniffling over there? I like you're sniffling over there, Cat. You know what I mean? We got the sneeze here. Cat might sneeze in a minute. Zarar. Zarar. Let me write that down. You know what I mean? That's some brother. Why are you zararing out here? You know what I mean? Hebrew. All right. Sneeze. Sneeze. The word I was not looking for. Right, but you know, it's around the word that we're looking for in which is Zarak. Zarar. Yeah, we are in winter time. Right, that is when the Lord's curse, yearly curse in the society called the plague of the flu comes around every year. Right? You know, so you see someone sneezing, Zarar. Okay, Zarak is to sprinkle. What is this? That's not what we're looking for. Just Zarak. Sprinkle. What I want to do is I want to take the concordance code right here. This is the only other time I like the concordance code too, right? You take this code right here, 2236, right? Because this is not exactly giving me the King James version. I want the King James version. All right. So I take this 2236 and I go to my book and I put in 2236. Okay. And then I'm going to get where those things are. Sprinkle. It comes up as a sprinkle. All right. And you sprinkle it on the altar. Sprinkle it on the people. Sprinkle. All right. Sprinkle. Right. Good. So the word dish. Right. The word dish. Somehow it relates to something sprinkling. Maybe you get a dish and you're pouring it on something. Could be, right? So I'm gonna put sprinkle right here, right? Zarak. Oh, snap. Zarak. We'll fix the writing there. Right. Zarak. All right, and that is sprinkle. Sprinkle. Okay. And what's the other one we got? Qalash from before, right? Let me get the word that we dealing with right now. So we got Zarak, Mazarak, we got Zalag. Let me get Zalag, and then we'll get that other one after. Right? Zalag is a fork. Let me see what a Zalag is. Right? For those who don't know what I'm talking about, because of the camera. Fork is Zalag. Right? So you want to put a fork, eat some chicken on your plate. Right? Where's the word plate again? Plate, where you want to put the fork, the Zalag onto your chicken. Chicken is Iwap. Onto your plate, the chicken is on your plate, right? Or on your quira, right? You know, mazalag into your iwap, which is chicken, which is on your quira, which is your plate. Okay, and then from there we'll build up sentences by, you know, by the stretching of our vocabulary. And big up to everybody who's been hanging with us, man. Big up to everybody who's been hanging with us. All right. Okay. So let me just go back to the this. We're in the zaz anyway. So we'll go from here and we'll go to the la zala. All right. We'll see what we can find there. With the ma, there's a ka. After ka, it's a car. The car is, remember, zala, zalal. Hold on. Zala, zalawat. There's no zalag in here. Zalapa, Zilpa. One of the four wives of Jacob. Right? Leah's maid, meaning Leah handed over her homegirl, right, to marry her husband. Leah. Okay. I don't see the log here. Okay. The log is not here. There we go. Mazalag. So let me put in Mazalag and see if it leads me to anywhere. Mazalag. Here we go. It's Maza. Okay. Maza. There we go. We got Mazalaga. We saw a while ago as Mazalag, right? From an unused root word, meaning what? There's words in Hebrew that Strong's does not know. Because the ma is to say from, and then the zalag is the word that it came from. And there's Hebrew word that's not written in the Bible. Right? From an unused root word, meaning it's not used in the Bible, but there's a root word out there, right, that exists in Hebrew that is not present in the book. You see what I'm saying? Okay. I mean, maybe we could figure it out, right? We got za. Maybe we're not gonna figure it out. I'm gonna say we're not gonna figure it out. Right? Maybe we will. Right? So no. Okay, it's a flesh hook, right? Za is a weapon. Right? La. You could teach something, you could lead something, right? The lamad, and then the ga is up high, right? It's elevated, right? It's on high. Could be, right? Something that's up here, right? It could teach you. No, I don't know. No, not sure. Not sure. All right. And then we wanted one more word, right? We wanted Qadash. Let me see if I can find what a Qadash is. Okay. And this is the last word, and we're gonna head out of here. I don't know if you got an announcement to make, sir. Or...
No, I'm good. Just mention the passage.
Cuddle concert. Qalash. Hold on, what's it? Qalash. La manasa ipataza quara shata. Okay, here we go again. So we got Qalash 1. Qalash 1. From an unused root, meaning to prick a prong or a hay fork. Right? Qalash from an unused root, meaning there's a root to Qalash 1, but Strong's has never seen the word Qalash because it's not in the Bible. So there's other Hebrew words that is not in the Bible, that's not written in the Bible. All the words in the Hebrew word you see are words that are being recorded. There's other Hebrew words that have not been recorded from an unused root, so meaning there's a root out there, but it's unused, so he doesn't know where to lead it to, like up here, right? It say this word is from this other concordance code 7049. So this word right here, quala'a, is from this word up here, quala. Right? They're connecting words together. This word right here is from this other word in 7046, which is right here. All right? All right? Right? So, you know, what is that? What is it? What is that over there? Qualasa is from qualas. Right? So they're pointing to words that are related to each other. Right? This word right here is from this word. 7046, 7046. Right? But for Kolashwan, it doesn't know what word Kolash is. It can't point to a word and say Kolash means this. It doesn't know. It's an unused root meaning. And this is all over the Bible, right? So, you know, Hebrew is a mystery to the white man. Okay, good. There we go. Right? You know who could bring it back? Us. We could find out what those words are. We might end up saying it by accident. We might develop in a word by accident because of we developed this language within us. The same how the Caucasian man would develop words in his dictionary word every year. And the Chinese might develop new words in their dictionaries every year. It's up to us, you know, upon necessity, you know, to develop words in our culture because it's our culture. It's not their culture. The Amalekite who says he's a Jew, you know, he cannot use this method of making words and develop words after that manner today because he was not the people before. Only the people of the lineage before can make extensions to their own culture by their own methods that the Lord gave them in their mind to develop their language. The Lord divided all the nations amongst their own languages. All right, so it's for us. All right, and that's it. No questions. Good. And with that, Passover next year, April the 12th, April the 4th. The Passover date, April the 4th. Right, it's gonna be in Houston, Texas. The B&H Ranch.
Yes, I believe.
The B&H Ranch. Everybody look about your tickets, look about your hotel stays. You know what I mean? Contact your camp leaders in your city. Whether you're in the school or out the school, you want to attend the ISUPK Passover, contact your camp leader in your cities. The UPK Passover is not only for the ISUPK, it's for all Israelites. If you're a Christian man, a Christian woman, and you want to celebrate the Passover because you know that you're an Israelite, contact your local camp leader in your state. Go to isupk.com and click on your state, right? If you're a Muslim, but you believe you're an Israelite and you are a Muslim, you are welcome to come to the ISUPK Passover. Our Passover is the Passover of the Lord. If you're from another Israelite group, and your Israelite group happens to not have anywhere to host your own Passover, come to the ISUPK Passover. As a matter of fact, it's commanded by all Israelites to be one Passover, right? To go to one Passover. It's in the law. It's in the law that there is only one Passover for you to go to, and that is by command of Jehanna, right? Based on the elect, and I got precepts. May I bring on next week? But we got precepts as to why the UPK is the home of the truth. And Commander Jehanna, there's tons of scriptures that point to Commander Jehanna being the leader of Israelites in this time, and his Passover will be the one of the Lord's. And I'll say this: if it's anybody else's Passover, it is not of the Lord. It won't be on the day that the Lord chose, and the Lord only gave us one date for the Passover. And with that, Passover fee is $200 per person for everyone over 17 years old, right? The scripture says you shall not come empty-handed. Make sure you get your $200 for the Passover ready. We are not funded by anybody else. We are self-funded, and that self-funding includes you, who knows you're an Israelite. All people that are Israelites, you will contribute to the venue and everything, the food and everything of the Passover. Make sure you get that $200 fees for your Passover fee, right? As the Lord says, you will not come empty-handed in Deuteronomy 16.
Exodus 23.
Exodus 23
and 15, I believe.
3 and 15. 23 and 15, right? And with that, I hope to see you all next week. Shalom. Shalom, my Shabbat.